It's Tuesday, June 26, and time for your Barbados Today evening news update. Thanks for joining us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. The government says it will complete road repairs left behind by the former Frondel Stewart administration. Transport and Works Minister Dr. William Gov't gave the assurance in Parliament today during debate of a $7 million supplementary to fix or complete a number of roads around the country. He says the money is needed to pay contractors.
These contractors have expended their own money to take some of these roads 65% of the way. Can you imagine that not one contractor has received a cent from this project as yet? Some of them would have expended almost $1 million, and they have not received a cent. Some of them, I understand, have been brought to the brink of bankruptcy because the government did not see it fit to pay them for the work that they have done. But it goes even further, Madam Chair, because this shows the mischief that can occur when Parliament comes to an end, but the executive continues to work. Because if they had taken care of this before Parliament came to an end, because this is just a housekeeping matter, they would have been able to pay the contractors on time. But no, instead they allowed Parliament to come to an end, so they could not come and do a housekeeping matter, so therefore the contractors could not be paid.
The recent levy placed on garbage and sewage is not enough to force residents to better manage their refuse. That's according to Public Relations Officer of the Future Central Trust, Cammy Holder. While he welcomed the $1.50 per day levy imposed on householders, Holder believes incentives should have also been introduced to encourage recycling.
That the $1.50 a day is a good action because the polluter should pay. But I go a step further to say that it does not treat to waste diversion or waste reduction. And therefore, if we continue to generate so much waste in our country, somebody has to pay for the landfilling. And if my memory serves me well, in 2014 we spent just about $24.9 million in terms of having a landfill built. So therefore, I see if in short order within the next 5 to 10 years that $1.50 a day becomes at least $5.
He tells Barbados Today it's time residents take the issue of green living seriously, and he believes legislation can play a role in encouraging such changes in behavior.
Unless it's legislatively supported, it does not work. Because by nature, humans are actually lazy in terms of behavioral change, and no one really embraces change readily because we resist what we don't know. So I'm saying is that if we had the legislative support, I'm thinking that Barbadians would have no choice but to comply. A Barbadian would leave Barbados today and would go to some foreign country and be told you have to recycle and you have to separate your waste, and they would.
There is a call for students to take the 11+ examination at their respective schools. It's coming from Principal of the St. Joseph Primary School, Evans Hinkson. Addressing his school's graduation ceremony this morning, the educator explained that the move to secondary schools on the day of the exam has a negative impact on some students.
The moving, in my view, can have some kind of detrimental effect on some students, the ones who are kind of nervous often. The secondary schools who are older and more mature do their tests at the secondary school with their teacher. The teachers, when they go to Erdiston, they do their tests at Erdiston with their tutors. Community College, University of West Indies, big adults do their tests at University of the West Indies. But our poor children are moved. I would wish me to submit that they remain at their school. Give the early students a day off, like how the secondary students get their day off. If needs be to exchange teachers from one school to another school, so be it.
Sir Fred Gollop was laid to rest today following a touching service at the Coleridge Memorial Gardens in Christchurch. Family and friends were joined by Governor General Dame Sandra Mason, Prime Minister Mia Mottley, members of her cabinet, and other high-ranking officials to bid a fond farewell to the co-founder of the Nation Publishing Company and prominent Queen's Counsel. Delivering an emotional eulogy, his daughters shared special moments spent with their father.
Dad enjoyed every day of his working life. He guided us every day by his example and taught us the value of hard work. Although we grew up with the nation, we had no idea what Dad was building. To us, he was Daddy first and foremost. Some of our fondest memories were our annual family holidays. For 3 weeks every summer, he and Mom would totally switch off as we traveled the world. It was a time of year when Dad would do things like enter the elevator on the way down to breakfast, having totally shaved off his mustache, and act like nothing had happened.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To news from the region, the Caribbean Court of Justice says an amendment to Guyana's constitution, barring presidents from serving more than 2 terms in office, is valid. In a ruling handed down today, the Trinidad-based court noted that the amendment was passed unanimously by the National Assembly during the administration of President Barack Jagdeo and did not emerge from the desire of any political party to manipulate the requirements to run for the office of president. The court says the constitution was also amended after extensive national consultation and therefore represented a sincere attempt to enhance democracy in the country. And finally, on the international scene, a tremendous victory. That's how President Donald Trump has described a Supreme Court ruling upholding his travel ban, which covers people from several Muslim-majority countries. The lower court had deemed the ban unconstitutional, but the country's top court reversed the decision on Tuesday in a 5-4 conservative majority ruling.
Today's Supreme Court ruling just coming out, a tremendous success, a tremendous victory for the American people and for our Constitution. This is a great victory for our Constitution. We have to be tough and we have to be safe and we have to be secure. At a minimum, we have to make sure that we vet people coming into the country. We know who's coming in. We know where they're coming from. We just have to know who's coming here.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper email updates and like us on Facebook and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Frenella Wedderburn. Have a wonderful evening.